The clowns had chainsaws. So I just got out a clown in a cornfield, and there were clowns with chainsaws. Quite literally my favorite thing. Do you know how much I love clowns with chainsaws? Peep me in 2021. It's a clown with a chainsaw. I'm so happy. Best night ever. Directed by Eli Craig, stars Katie Douglas and a whole bunch of other people. This is based on the YA horror novel Clown in a Chainsaw by Adam Caesar. Now, when it comes to adaptations, I've had people ask me, like, why don't you read the book first before you watch the movie and review it? And the reason why I try not to do too many deep dives into a movie is because I want to be as objective as possible. To me, this movie proves why that's the way to go. The problem with book to film adaptations, especially if you've read the book, is you already have a relationship with the story. You already have a relationship with the characters, and you have expectations going into it. I tried my hardest to not have expectations going into it, but this book is something else, and I was wondering how the movie was going to do it. It's a gruesome story. So what is this about? Follow along with me, okay? So this is about a girl named Quinn Maybrook and her dad, Glenn. They are from Philadelphia. Following a family tragedy, they moved to Kettle Springs, Missouri, where there is an opening for a doctor, the town doctor. He's going to be the town doctor. Now, she's, angsty 17-year-old teen having to move in the middle of the school year, and she's just trying to make friends. Well, she makes friends. That's Cole Hill, whose daddy basically runs the town. His name's Arthur Hill. And then Janet and Ronnie. Kettle Springs, Missouri is famous for its Bay Pin syrup and its mascot, Friendo the Clown. It's Founders Day, and per tradition, there's a big old fire out in the middle of the cornfield, in this old barn, if you will. And, a bunch of the local teenagers are out there. They're having a good time, drinking, carrying on. And all of a sudden, a girl walks out of the corn, and she's got an arrow in her back, and that's when all hell breaks loose. And Friendo the Clown with, bow and arrow starts aiming at people. And now everybody's running for their lives. I try not to spoil things, but I make no promises. So consider this your spoiler alert. Where this differs from the book, and this is where my disappointment came in, is the book is gruesome. The first clown comes out the cornfield, girl falls down, dies, and then all mayhem starts, and it's a massacre. There is no massacre in this movie. They completely skip over that part, which to me was a bit of a disappointment. There's a little bit of buildup in the book from where we have one friendo and all of a sudden we have multiple friendos. When it starts to kind of dawn on the kids what's happening and why. It's a very slow build in the book, and there's only so much you can do in a film, especially when you have a film like this that's about an hour and 36 minutes. Obviously, we have a time constraint here, so you have to kind of rush through those elements. And I hate that I know how the story is supposed to go, because now I'm disappointed because I had expectations. Had I not read the book, I don't think I would have cared. I think the big reveal of all these friendos coming out of the corn ready to attack these kids would have been much bigger for me had I not known what should have been coming. Does that make sense? So the early carnage that I was expecting to be there wasn't there, but then we get carnage later, and it's something else. We get a little bit of character development, not a whole lot, but honest to God, I don't think that's even the point. The best part about this movie is that it doesn't take itself seriously. This movie treats itself like it's a joke. Like, this is meant to be a fun kind of goof of a movie, like a future cult classic. This isn't going to make any waves right now. This is the kind of movie that, ends up being a special screening on a Thursday night for big fans 10, 15 years from now. Yeah, I think this has future cult classic potential. It's very reminiscent of, the 90s and early 2000s slasher films. There's something about it that kind of reminded me of like Leprechaun or maybe even Gremlins, in that there's obviously something spooky and scary about it, but it's just too goofy to take seriously. I laughed more than I was scared. And I'm okay with that. This isn't supposed to be, oh my God, I'm going to have nightmares scary. This is supposed to be the kind of thing that spooks you for a hot second and then you laugh right after. Not even that kind of nervous laughter, like it's genuinely funny. Even the dialogue, some of the things they're saying in the middle of their panic, it's so, I can't think of any other word, goofy. And it's supposed to be goofy. It's intentionally so. So if you're going into this movie thinking, oh my God, I think I'm going to be terrified, I don't think so. I think you're going to have a good time. You're going to laugh a lot. It's just, it's a fun little roller coaster, fun little haunted maze of a movie, if you will. I'm wondering about this author, Adam Caesar, who wrote the novel in which this movie is based, if he was inspired at all by Children of the Corn, because the plot here is kind of flip-flopped, if you will. In the original Children of the Corn, in both the Stephen King short story and in the movie, it's the kids who off the adults. But in this movie, it's the adults who are offing the kids. And, cornfields are involved. There's a formulaic nature to the way this is structured that's kind of pulling from some old, horror movie tropes and stereotypes that are kind of like, I see what you did there. You know what I mean? It starts off kind of slow. It's just a lot of building up these characters, just them up just enough that we are willing to follow Quinn wherever she goes. We're interested to see what her relationship with Cole is going to look like. What is this dude doing over there? Sir, is you cool? Where'd he go? We're gonna wrap this up. What was I even saying? Yeah, kind of a slow start, and then once we get into the action of it all, it moves pretty well. It didn't feel episodic as some adaptations do, where it just feels like they're trying to hit all the major scenes and they feel like they're just sectioned off in blocks. This kind of moves at its own little pace. And, it's not trying to reinvent the wheel. There's nothing new that it's doing. It's just different and it's fun. No, because where did he go? I'm not scared. That was a lot of fun, though. I love it when horror movies are just good fun. I don't know. I love a good, dark comedy, if you will. I don't think this qualifies as a dark comedy or a black comedy. This is just a horror comedy. I would put this in the same category as The Blackening, minus a satire. Clearly, it's a horror movie. It's scary, but it's hilarious. Does that make sense? That was so much fun. So much fun. Oh, there he is. Oh, he tweaking. So good, it's terrible kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, I'd say like 6.5 to 7 out of 10. Yeah, I feel comfortable doing that. I would definitely watch that again. Probably when it comes out. This is like a future I'm falling asleep movie.